Okay, we're going to do the Access Chapter 2 training simulation. In this first step, we're going to create a simple query using the query wizard. So we're going to go up here to the Create tab, and we're going to select the query wizard. And with the simple query wizard selected from our options, we're going to click OK. And we're going to use the residence table. So right here in our tables, we've got the residence table selected, and we're going to use all the fields. So we're going to just click on this double arrow. If we click on the double arrow, it'll move all the fields, or we can move them one at a time with this single arrow, but we'll use the double arrow. And then we're going to click the next button, and for our name of our query, we're going to call it residence search instead of residence query. So change the query to search and then click finish. And that completes that step. In this next step, we're going to add criteria to our query so that when it's run, only records for the water meter C7112526 will display. So we're going to move our cursor down here into the query definition table, and we're going to, on the criteria row, we're going to type C711, just two ones, 2526, and press enter. And then if we run the query, we'll see that only records with that water meter number are returned. In step 3 here, we're going to add a new field called amount due to the water bills table. We can see over here on the left hand side under the tables, we've got the water bills table open. So in the first open cell, we're going to put in amount due, uppercase D, and under the data type, we're going to select calculated data type. And then that'll bring up this expression builder, and we want the amount due to be the billing minus the amount paid. So we're going to put that in our expression builder here. So start with an open square bracket, type in the field billing, and then close square bracket, then the minus sign, open square bracket, amount paid, close square bracket, and then we're going to click OK. Oops, I've got two square brackets there. It's not going to work. So make sure you have the right number of, you have one open and one closed, and then click OK. And then we're going to assign the currency result type to the amount due. And to do that, we're going to do that down here in our properties section, and for result type is the second row there. And when we click on that second row, we can choose the currency type there for the result. And that completes that step. In the step 4 here, we're going to create a new query in the design view. So to do that, we're going to go under the Create tab. And this time we're going to use the query design. And the first thing we're going to do is add the residence table. To do that, all we have to do is double click it, and then we're going to add the water bills table. So let's double click that, and then we can close our show table dialog box. And then we're going to our query, we're going to add fields from the residence table, which are the account numbers. So we go up here and just double click account number, and see how it adds it down to our query table down below. And then we want to add the last name and the first name. And then from the water bills table, we're going to add the billing date, and then billing, and amount due. And then we're going to save the query with the name late billing. So we go up here and click on the save button, and we're going to call it late billings. Click OK. That completes that step. Step 5, we're going to add criteria so that when the queries run, only records where the amount due values are greater than 0 display. To do that, we go under the amount due column here in our query table, and on the criteria row, we're going to just type greater than 0. The greater than sign, and then a 0, and press enter. And now we're going to run the query, and we'll see that when we run the query, only water bills that have an amount due will be returned. See, all the amount dues are greater than 0. In step 6, we're going to add criteria to the billing date field, so that when only records with a billing date between April 1st, 2014 and June 30th, 2014 will display. So to do that, we use this between operator. So uppercase B, between, and then we're going to put April 30th or April 1st rather, so 4/1/2014, and then we type space and 6/30/2014, and then press enter. And then if we run the query, it should show only records that have a billing date between April 1st and June 30th. See that there were only 2 records that had a billing date of June 30th. For this next step, we're going to be modifying the statistics query, so we've got that selected and open, and we want to display the total row. And you see up here in the top here, we got this show hide section. So if we click on the totals, it'll add a total row to our query criteria, and the total row says group by. So with the records grouped by billing date, we want to count the second billing date column. So the second billing date column is here. So we're going to select this group by, and we're going to select count. Okay, so then it's going to group by the count, and then we want to average the usage column. So we click group by average, and then for the billing and the amount due columns, we want to sum them. So we're going to click on that group by and choose the sum option under both of those. And then we're going to run the query. And whenever we run the query, we just use this run here. And then we're going to switch to the design view. And then we're going to change the usage format property to fixed with a decimal property to 1. So I'm going to click on the usage, and then we're going to go up here and select the property sheet, and we're going to change the format to fixed, and we want the decimal places to be 1. And we want the caption property to say average usage. So we click on that caption there and type in average usage. And then close the property sheet. That completes that step. So in this step 8, we're going to create a calculated field with an alias, and the alias is going to be penalty. So to do that, we're going to click on this first blank space, and we're going to type penalty, just the way it is in the instructions there. And we're going to put a colon after the penalty and type space. What that does is it declares that that field is going to have an alias that's called penalty, And then we're going to create a calculation for that multiplies the amount due by 0.25. So whenever we're going to reference a field, we use the square bracket, and then we type in the field name, which is amount due, and then close it with a square bracket. And then we're going to use the asterisk for the multiplication, and we're going to type 0.25 and press enter. And then for the next step here, we're going to set the amount due column to remain in the query but not display in the query data sheet, and then we're going to run it. So the amount due field is here, and if we unselect this show checkbox in the show row, it will still include it in the query, but it's not going to display in the query data sheet when we run it. So, and I'll show you what happens. So we're going to click on the run, and the amount due should not show up there. It's hard to see it because it went by so quick. So in this next step in the design view of the billing errors query, so we know we've got the billing errors query open because it says on this tab, and it's highlighted over here in our objects section. And we're going to add an ascending sort order to the usage column. So here in the usage column, on the sort row, we select that. We can just click, choose the ascending, and that'll sort the water bills in ascending order when the query is displayed. And then we're going to type the following criterion in the criteria cell of the usage column. So here's the criteria cell. So we're going to type is space null space or less than sign and 0, and then hit enter. And then we're going to go over here to the rate value, and we're going to put in on the OR line. Notice there's a criteria and there's an OR. So this is the first criteria, and then it'll evaluate that, and it evaluates the OR criteria second. So we'll type in is null or less than or equal to, so less than sign equals sign 0, and press enter. And then we're going to run the query, and that'll return only records that meet those criteria. In this step, we're going to learn how to specify criteria for the using text to sort through the records. So it says to in the duplicate entries table, which we have open, in the criteria cell, so that the first names starting with any single character. So we're going to select the criteria in the first names field, and we want to put in criteria here so that any names starting with a single character. So we're going to put open double quote, and we use the question mark for any single character, and then it says followed by ILL. So type ILL, and then ending with any characters. So we're going to use the asterisk, which is a wildcard, and then close that with a double quote, and then hit enter. Oh, incorrect action. Okay, did something wrong there. Okay, what I did was I forgot to include the operator like. So we need to have like, and then the open double quote, a like space, double quote, question mark, ILL, and then the wildcard character, which is the asterisk, close double quote, hit enter. And then with that, we can run the query, and that will complete the simulation. So just click OK to submit your assignment.